On December the 23rd, 2020, the first ever episode of Don't Talk TV aired. Now here we are, July the 21st, 2021, and we've reached the milestone of episode 50. So I decided to do something a little bit different than I usually do for today's episode. I hope you'll enjoy it. We're going to go a little bit behind the camera, see how some of the Don't Talk TV sausage is made, and talk a little bit about plans for the future. Hello, my name's Nicholas Wansbutter. I'm a criminal defense lawyer in Stratford, Ontario, Canada, and welcome to a special episode of Don't Talk TV, our 50th episode. And I'm joined today by Richard Mitchell of Ram Design Group, who helps me with making Don't Talk TV. And we wanted to do something a little different because 50's a big milestone, a nice round number. 50 was my number when I played football and when I played hockey. That's my jersey from when I played for the Manitoba Law School intramural team. And so we're going to do kind of a
roll your sleeves up chat.
There you go.
Roll your sleeves up chat.
Kind of interview. So Richard, as I said, he runs Ram Design Group. He helps me with editing Don't Talk TV. He runs the social media stuff. So when you're talking to someone on Twitter or on Facebook, most likely it's Richard you're talking to rather than me.
Well, again, thank you for having me. Thank you for being a part of this, viewers, making this huge milestone for us. 50 episodes is a milestone for sure, and congratulations.
Right.
On 50. On 50. It's a pleasure to be a part of it, and it's a great channel. It's a great thing to get behind. You're a wonderful individual. So
thanks.
You're also a good educator. Like you're able to take the law from a lawyer's point of view and bring it to layman's terms for those to understand.
Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you having a haircut and not looking like a homeless bum when you came here for today's episode. Is that the first haircut since Don't Talk TV started?
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember I can't remember having another one, to be honest. So I would this is the first haircut since Don't Talk TV started back in December. Absolutely.
And fortunately for me, my wife grew up in communism, so she's got the gulag haircut down pat, and I've been able to be nice and trim all throughout the lockdowns when it's been illegal to cut your hair in Canada.
Well, let's get to that. That's what we're going to discuss today on Don't Talk TV. We're going to discuss a couple of topics, just going to have a little informal chat. I want to first start off the discussion by letting our viewers know how Don't Talk TV kind of came to existence. Nicholas, you approached me with the idea as a criminal lawyer. Can you just kind of elaborate how you kind of came to that idea?
Yeah, absolutely. So Don't Talk TV is actually something that had been percolating in my mind for quite a while. I'd say over a year for sure. I first started thinking, I should really do a YouTube channel because I saw there's a number of American lawyers who do YouTube, but there weren't any Canadian lawyers at that time. Now, there's a couple other Canadian lawyers now who do YouTube, but when I first started thinking about it, I was thinking, this is something to be good for people to have a Canadian perspective on the law. And, I started thinking about it, then the lockdowns came and things were crazy for a while there, and then it was when we got to the lockdown for Christmas 2020, is when I said, I need to stop thinking about this and I need to go do it, because there's just so much crazy stuff going on that more than ever, people need to have some education. Like, I need to try and get the word out there a bit of what's going on and what people's rights are. So that's episode 1. I started with, you have the right to not answer the door to your house if you don't want to, which is so important nowadays. I mean, it's always important.
I didn't even know that. So when I first, I knew you had the right, but I didn't know the actual legalities of it. And during COVID, for those viewers that don't know, you as a criminal defense lawyer, you did go a period of time without work because of the lockdowns.
Yeah.
Just like everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that it would be the zombie apocalypse level of SHTF before the law courts would be shut down. But yeah, March of 2020, they were shut down for 10 weeks. The shutdown then got extended as all these other lockdowns. 2 weeks to flatten the curve became whatever week we're on now. 10
weeks.
weeks lockdown courts extended up to September, October of 2020.
Yep.
And yeah, I was out of basically not able to do my job for most of that, aside from a few things. I mean, they kept bail courts running, and that's about it.
But that's kind of how, when COVID hit and that kind of reality kind of slapped you in the face, that's kind of, again, to clarify, that's just what kind of motivated you to just do it.
Yeah, that's what gave me the motivation to stop talking and thinking about it.
Yep.
Get in front of that camera and start recording.
Yep. He came to me, folks. He came to me with this idea. I didn't have that. And to be honest, again, Don't Talk TV just kind of rolls off the tongue. So it was very, when you pitched it to me, I'm not gonna lie, I was very intrigued right off the hop. So I'm very interested.
Well, and the Don't Talk comes from one of my key purposes of educating people and also potential clients is just don't talk to the police, because nothing good comes of it. So I had to name the whole channel after that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, it's funny that it sounds like something so simple, but it's so difficult to do sometimes. Can you tell the viewers kind of what are up and coming, any sort of future episodes, anything in the works? I know I can tell you folks, we're working on a Don't Talk TV logo design. We're also going to be reworking the website, or a website. But can you tell us a little bit about maybe episode ideas or potential ideas? Or
Well, one thing I've been thinking of is, I'm pretty much at my max of 2 episodes a week,
Yep.
but I would like to branch out and do a little bit more casual stuff in some of my other interests once in a while, maybe once a month, maybe once every couple months. One of my passion outside of the law is science fiction. So, I mean, we're practically living in a science fiction movie. So there's a bunch of great sci-fi films with kind of a legal aspect or an aspect of some of the craziness that's going on
Yep.
that I'd like to talk about from a lawyer's perspective. So hopefully you'll see some of that. Otherwise, in terms of some upcoming episode topics, I'm going to be trying to take a vacation over the next 2 weeks. I say that with air quotes because as a criminal lawyer, I mean, I'm not going to leave someone stuck without a bail hearing because I'm on vacation. So I'm always got to keep a bit of a ear open for stuff. But I'm planning on filming a short series guiding people through the criminal process to try to demystify it a bit, just showing from arrest to finding a lawyer to your first court appearance to a guilty plea or to a trial.
Okay.
And I think that's important because, as I said, demystifies. I mean, I'm sure it'd be an absolutely terrifying process to go through. We were actually just talking before the show about, Maxime Bernier, a well-known public figure. I mean, I'm sure he's been through all kinds of scenarios in his political career, and even he found it terrifying being arrested and put in a jail cell when he was arrested for meeting with a few people and talking about his political philosophies.
Yeah, and if he finds it scary and absolutely terrifying, just imagine what a regular civilian or citizen without the power of that many lawyers and that much money.
Yeah.
I can tell you from first-hand experience, they wanted $1,000 from him, so he had to send his volunteer to the nearest bank machine to take out $1,000 in 20s to pay his
cash deposit for bail.
So if he didn't have that money, he wouldn't have gotten out. Well, how many civilians have that cash deposit in bail?
Or someone who can run down to the bank and get that out for them. So I want to talk about that. And then I was thinking another episode, or maybe more than one episode down the road, is I'd like to focus a little bit on the positives and the things that make our justice system in Canada the best in the world, warts and all. Our system isn't perfect. No system is going to be perfect, but as far as I'm concerned, our system is still the best in the world when you compare it to other systems out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree completely with that statement. I know we at Don't Talk TV don't want to be known as the COVID lawyer or the COVID-19 lawyers, but as we've discussed off camera many times before, a lot of these new laws are very difficult to navigate. Can you express your top 3 legal issues, your main concerns with respect to how the ever-changing landscape of the criminal law or law in general are changing due to these COVID lockdowns?
Yeah, so I think what I could do is maybe my top 3 legal predictions for the next year. So you've got the context of COVID-19, which, as you say, I don't want to be the COVID lawyer, but it's unavoidable. You literally cannot even breathe without COVID-19 coming up, because someone's going to tell you should be putting a mask on to cover that breath up.
It's true.
So you've got the context of COVID-19. I think we also can't ignore the fact that there's a federal election coming, sooner than later. I don't know exactly when, but it's clearly coming soon. And my personal prediction or anticipation is that the Liberals are going to win another parliament somehow, be it majority, be it minority. I think Justin Trudeau is still going to be the Prime Minister a year from now. So with those 2 contexts, the 3 legal issues or legal changes I see coming up in the next year is, number 1, firearms is going to continue to be a hot topic. It's gone a little bit onto the back burner in recent months, but I go back to my videos on Bill C-21. That thing's going to die before the next election, but I don't guarantee many things in life. I can pretty much guarantee there will be something like that back in the next 6 months or so. It's a trend we can see in Canadian history. I think it's a trend to disarm the Canadian people. And you go back to Pierre Trudeau Part 1 in the 70s. That's when you get the FAC and the first controls and making certain firearms illegal. Then in the 90s with Jean Chrétien, you've got the PAL introduced and the non-restricted, restricted delineations. And then you have Trudeau Part 2 with the gun grab, the making the AR-15 and a bunch of other firearms illegal by order in council, and C-21. Something like that's going to come for sure. They don't want Canadians having firearms. Yeah. That's my view of things. I don't want to get too political at this time. Maybe in other episodes, maybe that's something else I can branch into.
Let us know if that's what you want, folks.
Second prediction is going to be on freedom of speech, although I would suggest that it's more specifically making it illegal to have views that are not in line with what the media and the Liberal Party of Canada thinks is okay for you to believe, and an enforced uniformity of thought by law. Now, it's not going to happen all overnight, but we're already seeing little steps in that direction. C-10, which is another government bill that's going to die before the election. Something like it is going to be back with the next government, I'm sure, and that's going to be an ongoing issue. And then the third one, this ties more directly to the COVID-19 thing and the emergence of vaccine passports. If I was saying this time last year, people would be saying, Juan's butter, adjust your tinfoil hat, there's never going to be a vaccine passport, but now it's July 2021. In France, they just had a big vaccine passport thing where they're saying you couldn't go into malls, cafes, sporting events, nightclubs without the vaccine passport. Now, there were a bunch of protests and they've walked that back a bit, but they haven't walked it back entirely. They still have it. Now, in Canada, at the federal level and the provincial level, so far, Prime Minister Trudeau and Premier Ford have said, no, we're not going to do vaccine passports, but you're starting to see private businesses doing that, or things like, of all places, the Museum for Human Rights in Winnipeg, Manitoba. I mean, of all places, you would think a place that's there to teach you about human rights and teach you about, hey, look, this is what happened when people had to have papers to move about in the past. Yeah. Here's what happened when different parts of society were segregated. That's the place that's requiring you to have a vaccine passport, and we'll throw a link in the show description with their website. You can check it out, see for yourself their policy, and maybe send them an email with whether you think that's a good way to teach people about human rights. But I think we're going to see that it's like an institution of apartheid, which is it's a charged term, but apartheid is the Afrikaner word for literally apartness or separateness. And I think that's what we're seeing is an apartness where you keep the vaccinated away from the unvaccinated. And, are we going to have water fountains where here's the vaccinated water fountain and the unvaccinated water fountain soon?
Sounds familiar, right? That's That's unbelievable. I'm going to just circle back to your the one comment you made about your idea not aligning with the mainstream idea, and you having a conviction or a criminal charge because of that. That also circles back into your sci-fi, because for those that haven't read 1984 by George Orwell, you should. But that's basically a thought police.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, these are things that I see coming, and that also links back to my reasons for doing Don't Talk TV. My goal is to try to help educate people about the legal system for their own use, but also just for general knowledge, so you know what's going on, and you can then take steps accordingly. I believe strongly in the phrase, be the change that you want to see in the world. Now, you need to know what's going on in the world in order to know what change you want to be in that society, and so I hope that my videos can help empower people to make some choices, be it getting involved in politics, taking their kids out of government school and homeschooling them, writing a letter to the editor, or what have you.
Something. And that's at the end of the day is why we're here, is to educate and help inform you viewers and anyone that wishes to make a consented decision when you're making those decisions with respect to, like you had spoke to homeschooling and so forth. Again, thank you, Nicholas, for having me. I'm extremely proud that we've hit 50 episodes. And I can't thank you enough.
Well, and thank you for joining me, and thank you for all your help with Don't Talk TV. It wouldn't happen without, or might not have too many viewers without the social media. And of course, thank you to the viewers for watching Don't Talk TV. Don't Talk TV wouldn't be a thing if you weren't watching and weren't sharing it with people.
Don't forget your legally obligated lawyer comment. I
am a lawyer, so I've got to say it. This video is not legal advice. If you need legal advice, call a lawyer. You can call myself or another lawyer. As always, the 1-855 number is going to be below, along with my website. And keep the show ideas coming. I love interacting with viewers in the comment section. I might not always be able to respond to you, but I like seeing it.
We do our best.
And getting the suggestions always gives me great ideas and motivation to do more shows, so please keep those coming. And again, if you found this episode or any of our episodes helpful or informative, please like, share, and subscribe, and follow us on social media.
Awesome. Congratulations again.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.